What's up, YouTube? It's your boy JD, and today we got for you the ratio crafter, the 5-4 ratio crafter. That's gonna be a TNT or a Prismarine, or wait, not Prismarine, a Sea Lantern crafter. And here we see the build. The build is, as usual, absolutely tiny, perfect engineering. Well, not perfect, best engineering we can get. Let's take a look at the dimensions. We got 12 by 16 by 5. We got my phone going off in the background. If you want to clear out a space that is 14 by 16 by 7, that'll be an easier space to build. This crafter is completely unbuffered. If I take a look in here, you'll see that it is buffered up, but we're going to remove that buffer. And now we're going to start the machine. And as you can see, it buffers itself. It doesn't require a buffer. We can get a buffer by starting and stopping it. You do need a buffer for sea lanterns. And now the machine is fully buffered. Well, it doesn't buffer itself, but it's good to note that we will be needing a buffer for sea lanterns if you're going to use it on sea lanterns. Okay. Let the machine off. I practiced this tutorial a couple times, so after you cleared out your space of 14 by 16 by 7, you can go ahead and move, what was it, 3, I don't even know. You know what, now you got your space cleared out, kind of get centered and build this little hookup right here. And then we're going to get everything that we need in here. We need redstone dust. We need our temporary blocks. We need the torches. That should be it for now. Once you have this, come and pick a direction and face a direction, and then let's go ahead and place some redstone down. Build as shown. Should have something looking like this. And then we can place some blocks right here. Place some blocks just like that. Coming off the top of this comparator, we're going to place some blocks. Build this formation just like so. Break that temporary block. Break these temporary blocks. Place a repeater on 2 ticks. Put a torch on top. And a solid block. Place another block right here. Need to get some dust in here. We're going to cover that up in just a second with a not so temporary block. Place a torch right there. See where we're working. Okay. Let's continue. Nope, that was not a temporary block. We're going to replace that block and we're going to place a comparator just like so. Place some dust just like this. Watch out for the clock creation. Place a block right there. A block just like this. And what do we got? What do we got? We've got failure to communicate. Place a block right there. Comparators as shown. Dust this area. Place a torch right there. That's this is a monostable circuit. It's a rising edge monostable circuit down here at the bottom. What happens is when this torch turns on, this will fire for 1 tick. It'll activate the first fader, which is the unstable fader or the blinking fader, and then the second 2-tick pulse will give us the solid state fader here that times the pulses for the top fader. I'm going to go ahead and place some blocks on top of this torch and then 3 blocks over. I'm going to place a comparator, some dust. We'll put that comparator on subtract mode and this comparator on subtract mode. Break that temporary block. Alright, now that we've got our blocks placed, we can go ahead and place a block here, a target block, put a torch on top, and we're going to go ahead and we need to get the rest of the space for everything here. It goes like this. Hopefully I'm correct. Yeah, this is how it goes. Alright. Now, we should have something looking like this. I think there are some blocks in here. They're not needed, but we're going to go ahead and place them. Alright. This is not a temporary block. That is a temporary block. Break that temporary block. Break that temporary block. Once you have everything set up like so for the top, we're going to continue building upwards. Now that we have this main torch in right here, we're going to go ahead and place our crafter. Place a crafter just like this. And then we need to get some actual blocks here so that we can place some droppers. This is the main crafter. We're going to place droppers facing into it like so. We're going to come off the back of these droppers with 3 blocks? Yeah, 3 blocks. We're going to get comparator readouts from those droppers. This is the item safety. This machine must have ingredients to even function. Place some dust off the leading edge of those comparators and torches on the end of those 3 blocks that we placed. Now we can go ahead on these 2 torches, place some blocks. Ooh. For this one over here on this side, we'll have a block on the top of that torch and then a block right here and some dust. That's going to control one of our inputs. I don't know which one that one is. Swing around to the other side, we have the torch with the block on top of it. We're gonna something's wrong. Oh, break all this stuff because I did it wrong. After you're done breaking all of that stuff and you get back to this point, put an actual block on top of this, then a target block on one side and a solid block on the other side. Place droppers, and then your main crafter should be looking like this. Okay, swing around to the back side. These 2 torches, place solid blocks on top of them. On this one, have 2 blocks leading to the target block, and on this one, just a solid block like that. Place the dust so that we can get our dust all the way up to those. Alright. I'll look at something here. Yeah, I've done everything correctly here so far. Coming off the back of those droppers after the repeat of what we messed up just a few minutes ago, we're going to go ahead and we're going to place some comparators. 2 pieces of dust coming out. That means that these have to be at signal strength 2 or have a couple stacks. I think it's about 3 stacks in there. Come down here. While we're at it, we're going to add the control circuit for the item safeties. Looking at this comparator, go ahead and break that block. Replace the comparator because we need to have a little glass tower coming off of these. So, do is build up something like this. Break these temporary blocks. I will never get over breaking temporary blocks. Alright. That's our on and off. We also have another on off down here. Break that temporary block. Place this block. this block and this block. I know that my tutorials are ADD. Just gonna have to bear with me. We can go ahead and put in our crafters. Crafter right there, crafter right there. Top crafter is gonna go on 5. Bottom crafter is gonna go on 4. Just so we know exactly what we're putting these on for those. The top one is the blinking fader that provides the item inputs to these two droppers. It also provides the craft signal right at the beginning of its cycle. The middle fader, which is this one on the colored build, it would be the light blue. That's the stable fader. This one controls the time and ends right when this one ends so that we can loop everything over and over. That's all this clock does, right? And the circuit down here, the monostable circuit that only fires on the rising edge of this torch. That means when this torch turns on is when this circuit will fire 2 pulses, a single 1-tick pulse for the unstable fader and a 2-tick pulse for the stable fader. So that's how everything is working here. Let's continue building up our device. We left off at doing the droppers and we left off at adding our crafters. So we'll keep going. At this point we're going to need the honey blocks, we're going to need some hoppers, we're going to need some rails, pistons, temporary blocks, we're always going to need those. Alright. Let's go ahead and add our hoppers. Hopper in the top of that, hopper in the side of that, hopper in the top of that, hopper in the side of that, hopper pointing into that hopper, hopper pointing into that hopper. And looking from the front, we're going to place some slime blocks, slime block, slime block, and then we're going to place some rails just like so. And we don't need it yet, but we're going to need some mine carts. So what we can do next is we can place temporary blocks. Another temporary block right there. This is 3 temporary blocks. Once you got those, break those 2 bottom blocks. Grab the dispensers. Place a dispenser just facing down like that, and another dispenser facing down like that. Come off the back of your dispensers, which is the back side like this, where the comparators are. Place 2 temporary blocks. Place a piston, and then come off of your temporary blocks. Add more temporary blocks and come to the back and come down 2 blocks. Once you've got those in place, grab your observers and place some observers just like this. Get your temporary blocks, and now we can break everything. I think we can break everything. Yeah, we can break everything. I'm just looking at, this is not my design, so I'm just going to take a peek at it. Alright. Yeah. That's everything. Okay. Continuing, we can break all these temporary blocks. Except for those. Place some comparators. Place these blocks just like this, and come below. Place 2 blocks coming out. Break these temporary blocks. Place the rails. Place the torches. Then we got some walls. Place some walls. Trapdoors. Place the trapdoors. You do have to be facing west for this, or at least facing the back. When you swing around to this side to place the other trapdoors, make sure that you are standing the way that I'm showing. And while we're back here, we're going to go ahead and place these observers, repeaters, 2 ticks, break these temporary blocks, add in the hoppers, add in these solid blocks, swing around, and add in these comparators. We're going to get our chest, add in our chest. We're going to also go ahead and get the mine carts in there right now. Mine cart with hopper. We need 2 of them. Alright. And then if we just stand on the crafter and go back and forth like this, it'll align them correctly. Wow. I built that up really quickly. We should have something looking like this. Hopefully your build's coming along just fine. Now we just need to do like the loader. So how do we get to the loader? The loader for the ingredients is pretty straightforward. We're going to take a dispenser off of the right side here. We're going to go ahead and get some temporary blocks. 1, 2. We're going to place a piston facing down. We're going to come, 1 block below, and 4 blocks. Then we're going to get our soul sand. We need to encase this in glass so that the water cannot spill out. Just like this. Perfect. Next up, we need to go ahead and get some temporary blocks. We're going to make the circuit that breaks box. Oh, break that temporary block. Alright, these are not temporary, so what we need here is something looking like this. That built up, and then take a aerator. We also need a redstone block. Put a redstone block right there. And some dust, and put this on subtract mode. Now you should have something looking like this. We're going to get a torch and a repeater and a solid block. We're going to put some dust right there on those solid blocks, and we should be completed here. We can go ahead and put a shulker box in here. That right there. And we'll also go ahead and put our trapdoor. Now, our box loader is all finished. All we need to do is build up this tower. What else do we need to do? We also need to, okay. We won't build up the tower here. Coming to the dispenser where the boxes come from for the output, let's go ahead and place a hopper going in the side of that. A double chest. Another hopper going in the side of that. And another double chest. And from this double chest, we can now do our hopper collection line for the shulker boxes. It's really simple. Just point a hopper into this chest and run a line of hoppers like that. And now we actually have our floor level in. This is our floor level. Just like this. We can go ahead and place glass for the rest of the floor if we want. I'm going to do that now. I'm also going to come back to this specific point so that I know where my bubble column is coming up. The bubble column comes up just right here. Go ahead and build that up. And if we come down, place chest. Wait a minute. Yeah, the chest goes just like right under here, one block below the floor. Break that. And what we do is we put a hopper in there, put some glass around it, and that should be all she wrote. Just need some this action right here. Get our carpet. And we got to make sure that our water can't spill. We do that by placing a trapdoor, trapdoor, trapdoor. Go in here and we're going to get some water buckets. How do I get the water bucket in there? It's really simple. We don't break that glass. What we do is we break the shulker box, put a water bucket right here. We get our buttons. Oh no. These need to be glass blocks. Okay, but a button needs to go right here. And if you watch this tutorial, I'm sorry it's so brain dead. Hopefully you can build it, place some blocks there. We just need to make sure that the water can't spill out. I'll go back up here to the top. Water bucket, water bucket, water bucket, water bucket. I think we're all done here except for like the power. Now, how we get our power signal is this right here. These comparators are where the signal needs to go. What we do is take this solid block, build a little, little redstone staircase, thingamabobber. Break these out. Dust all of this. Once we dust all this, we should be done. I'll go get some ingredients from the other. Oh well, that is totally built all wrong. Can't even build a redstone staircase, it's terrible. Alright, just a second, fellers. Right in where we need to be. Alright. There we go. Alright. And then a torch here. Should be getting some action right there. Good, that all looks good. Okay, now we can load the ingredients. Let's make sure that we load it properly. I do believe if I understand my machines correctly, we should get rid of all this junk in my inventory. We're gonna grab 4 boxes of sand, 5 boxes of gunpowder. The sand goes on the left. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. And then the gunpowder goes on the right. We get our ingredients in there. and then we start the machine. As you can see, the machine functions. I broke this box earlier, so we're going to need to put another box in there. Without a box, the ingredients will just come to the output chest. That's another really messed up, terrible tutorial. Thanks for tuning in. It's your boy JD. If you have any questions, leave a comment, leave a like, subscribe for more top-notch tutorials here.